Well, welcome to the bio. Here today we are going to talk about the Spring Skirmish Challenge, which was something that was put on by the PMP community as an extension of the Warhammer YouTubers. So this went over the last couple months, and the mighty Vince Venturella was the guy who headed this all up. It came to a close, of course, at the end of June, and there were some awards offered up. Now, before we get too deep into that, let's talk about what was laid out here. So through the months of May and June, the job was to paint a force of 10 to 20 models. One of those models had to be some kind of boss or leader and legally playable in the game of your choice. Also included in that, you were to do a thematic scenery piece that matched up with those models and the force that you were doing. And then the final restriction was that we had to do this all within a $100 budget. So, on to what I did. I went into the realm of Malifaux and deeper into the backwoods of Malifaux with the Gremlins. So these are swamp-dwelling, hillbilly, moonshine-making hog herders that are native to the Malifaux world, but obviously don't get along very well in the city, with the big city slickers, but make their own way with what they have out in the bayou. So here's a big group shot of them all, but we'll look through some individual stuff, starting with the big boss of them all, Summerteeth Jones. Now this guy is called Summerteeth Jones because some are teeth and some are not. But the reason why he's the big leader, despite all his cunning and smart ways and the big boomstick he carries, really why everybody pays attention to him is because he has the biggest hat of all the peoples. He's even got a couple medallions on there and a little bit of plumage in it to make sure you know he's all important like. His right-hand man and a not-so-bright companion, Lenny, is a bit of the master of the pig herders. He's a bit of a giant, really, in the gremlin world. As you can see, he's beefed up in a lot of ways, not just the shoulders, but the belly as well. He's real nice with the pigs. He likes to pet the pigs. But every now and then, when somebody steps out of line and hurts his little friends, he's got to whack them with a big log. Now, one of the big old features of gremlin engineering is this here pigapult. Now, what this is designed to do, of course, is to get them ornery pigs right where they need to be. So, flinging them up in the air, in and amongst the bad guys, and letting them run amok is what these gremlins aim to do. In fact, they have some kind of thing that they like to call the bacon bomb when they fling these piggies up, and sometimes they splatter down in spectacular ways and make a bomb of bacon. This here is the regular old boys doing the various things that they do in the bayou. You can see that a couple of them have rifles, one of them with the pig prod in the back there, and of course a bit of fishing rod, because every once in a while you can get a sucker mackerel or a catfish out of the bayou and eat well for the day. Here's a bit of a closer look at them fellas. One of them is pretty refined, old paw there smoking a pipe. Cletus, who is a little drunk on the moonshine, but having a fist fight with a post or a tree or some other inanimate object. And this guy here on the right side or the left side, that is old Arlen. He's just watching out. He's the sniper of the fellas. We'll see him later at the lookout. These two fellers, they are what we call the slop haulers. Now they are of vital importance in the pig herding world. They are responsible for feeding them pigs, keeping them happy, and making sure everybody around is healthy and fed. Pretty vital role in amongst the bayou. Now we're going to segue here a little bit. This is our little bayou watchtower. I created this thing for my gremlin friends just by gathering together a few scraps that I had already around. I piggybacked on the Goblin Town kit that come with the Lord of the Rings game set. Added a few extra bits and bobs here and there, some scraps. But the big helper was all that planking and boards comes out of the mystical place called the Starbucks. Now in Malifaux, I don't know if there's any Starbucks shops. Maybe these came across the breach from the real world, but the Gremlins sure know how to make something out of nothing. Now a big part of the feature here, we're getting a couple shots where you can see him in action, and you'll notice that we got our real reason for doing the Gremlins is all these little piglets. We did up the bases in swampy lands with various chunks of stuff, some trees poking out, some mud, some patches of grass, busted up planks, and all them kind of things. So we'll do a couple other scan shots there. Oh yeah, occasionally some people die in the bayou. Maybe not Gremlins, but you know, various other things get devoured by the pigs, and oops, there you go. These ones here, especially exciting. They are what are known as the stuffed pigs. Not because they're extra fat, but because they are stuffed with dynamite. Particularly exciting when we can get these things convinced to get up onto the pigapult and fling them across the yard. And there's our sentry on top of the tower, showing you how extra useful that thing is with our Gremlins and boomsticks. And over here on this one, this is actually the real Goblin Town scenery piece itself. So not a real part of the bayou, it's a bit foreign. But there's the pigapult riding high. And then a final shot of Summerteeth himself, all proud up in there. And one last shot of the whole crew as a whole, so you can see here that we came in just under the wire in model count for this thing. Summerteeth being the boss right in the middle. And the way that this all broke down is I came just under the wire in dollars as well. Luckily I didn't have to spend no money on them Starbucks stir sticks, and the models all across, because I got a couple deals on the pigs and the herders, made me come in at just under 100 bucks. So the final result of all this is that thankfully, through some voting that went on through the PMP community, I was voted for the best theme and shared my award with this feller here that we're looking at, Archaeos 1861. And he did some real fine desert themed Burtonians. So I'm real happy to share the notice of best theme with this feller. He did a real dang good up job, and we Gremlins, we're all about sharing. So I'm always happy to do that, and I want to say thanks again for all those that put up votes in the PMP community. You're swell peoples, and I'm glad to be a part of such a great group. Thanks for your time. Signing off.